Welcome back to another episode of Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. I'm Marissa's husband, and this is Sammy's husband. Long pause because Tyler's mic doesn't work. But that was a joke. I'm not Marissa's husband. I am Sammy's husband, if you didn't know. But we'll start it off with a quick little This Day in History by yours truly, Tyler. So go ahead.
All right, today is April 7th. In 2003, U.S. troops capture Baghdad and Saddam Hussein's regime falls 2 days later.
America.
And then we immediately got out of Iraq within a few weeks. Don't fact check that.
Yeah, just a few weeks.
Just a few weeks. In 2017, Pearl Jam and Tupac Shakur were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Interesting.
2019, Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki play their final regular season home games, and they both won. Also that day, Magic Johnson did his, sensationalized quitting of his job as president of basketball operations.
Classic.
And this year, Curb Your Enthusiasm airs their final episode.
Okay, so great days in history. One thing I want to talk about is who had the better career, Dirk or Wade? That's tough, I know.
I mean, you can make the case that Dirk's the best international player ever.
Right.
And Dwayne Wade's the third best shooting guard ever, maybe fourth.
Yeah.
Depends on how you classify AI.
Yeah, but I mean, we got Jordan, obviously, Kobe, obviously, and then 3, 4, and 5 is pretty interchangeable. I mean, we talk about AI, we talk about Wade. Who else we putting up there? I mean, is James Harden a 2 guard?
I mean, he's a 2 guard the majority of his career, but he's messed around with point guard a lot lately.
Talking MVP level at James Harden though, so like Wade and Dirk. Did Dirk win MVP? I don't think
Dirk
so.
won one MVP, yeah.
Did?
2006, I think.
And AI won an MVP.
Yeah.
Wade didn't. So I mean, depends how we're classifying AI, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough debate. I figured kind of up for determination, but I'm rolling with Wade. I got Flash.
I think it would definitely be D Wade if he didn't have to take a back seat for 4 years.
Right. I don't even know if it was 4 years though, because that 4th year for sure, like he was hurt. If Braun wasn't there, that Heat team would have been probably pretty sad.
Yeah, no, they weren't good before Braun and Bosch came.
Right.
But also D Wade won that championship in 2006.
Right, and he won that championship. I know Shaq was there and everything, but that was Wade's team. That was Wade's coming out party too.
And he beat MVP Dirk.
Is that 06?
Yeah.
That was then?
Yeah, so
I didn't realize that. So there's your answer.
It's coming down from 2-0. Comes back.
I like how we answered our question right there. We had the question and then we went through the facts and we answered it. I like that.
But Dirk beat them in 11.
Yeah, that's true. And that was a
stacked ass team.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Let's just skip over that.
Yeah, actually, LeBron never does anything wrong. No more talking about
that. Actually didn't happen.
Okay.
All right. So this day in history, we're going to go over a little bit of what we did this week. Talk about Final Four, both men and women, which, I mean, it is 2024. We can talk about women's sports. Where am I at? Looking at the wrong fucking notes. But yeah, so men and women Final Four. I got a little question I want to ask. Talk about some bet slips and then a few more topics if we got time. But what'd you have popping this week?
Pretty much just work, typical Tuesday to Saturday shit. I hooped Tuesday morning. I went out there. I didn't stretch at all. I was half asleep. Immediately started like 0 for 5 from behind the line. And then I was like, oh shit, I don't have to shoot 3-pointers. And then I started going off.
Yeah,
I got
we're getting a little too old for that. To just go out there, especially at 5:30 in the morning or whatever time it is. I mean, you gotta swing the legs a little bit, just pull on the legs, get the hamstrings going, and yeah. So that era of just coming out and not stretching, we're not Blake Griffin, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We
that's
ain't
for damn
stretched.
sure.
But yeah, that's what's up. So just big stuff is just basketball in the morning and then working like an adult.
Yeah, I actually got a new wholesale account. So I'm basically the best realtor and fish salesman combination in the world,
Yeah, there might not be another of that combo. So you're in uncharted waters right now.
who also has their CDL. So
Yeah, you might be the only one. I'd like to see. We got to Google that. That's going to be on the next episode. Is there another person with their CDL sells fish and in the real estate market? We got to find that out.
and they're probably listening. I mean, everybody's listening to the podcast. So just go ahead and reach out in the DMs.
Yeah. If that's you, then come forth. We'll get you on a duel with Tyler. We can talk about how great you guys are. So from what I'm hearing, you're coming for your boss's job.
Yeah, he really, he's kind of coasting right now. He's got a lot of accounts.
Oh, a little
I've got,
complacent. Some
I've got,
complacency.
yeah, it's complacency, and I'm coming for him. I have six of a certain supermarket chain under my belt, one store in South Carolina, and then one store in Wilmington. So I have 8 accounts. 6 of them were inherited, but I've took them to heights they've never seen.
I will say complacency is a career killer. So if you're listening and you're being a little complacent, you better step your shit up.
And you know who you are.
And you know who you are. And that thing I want to bring up is directed towards that person in a little bit. So we'll get to that. Anything else from your week?
Uh, Me and Marissa went to Brits Donuts.
Oh, nice.
Absolute banger. I mean, we waited for 45 minutes though,
Oh, right.
you know.
Comes with the territory.
And then it actually made me think of a time where me, Wes, and Mike were in line at Brits Donuts and we got interviewed by Frances Weller on the local news. And she interviewed Mike and then Wes and then handed the mic to me. I started to talk and she took it away. So I just want to let you know, Francis, I'm a famous podcaster now.
Yeah, come on the pod, Francis. We'll get you on here
I'll reach out.
and we can talk about that day and the beef that we have with you.
My people will reach out to your people.
Yeah. Our team. My week was pretty much just a regular old work week. And then Friday I took off. We went down to Florida for an event. I will say I got This Day in History 2.0. Dorothy Zell was born in 1924. It was our 100th birthday this week, or today actually is our 100th birthday. And we celebrated, me and Sam drove down to Naples. It was a good time. Got to see a bunch of family that I haven't seen in a long time. I mean, she's 100 years old. She doesn't live in a retirement home. It's just a regular old house. I mean, she's 100, so she has to have some people help, right? But I mean, she's independent and mobile. Like it's honestly amazing. She's out there dancing on the dance floor. It's pretty wild. I know she was tired because that was a hell of an event, but she lives in this neighborhood called the World Tennis Club, and it's basically like the equivalent of like a golf community. Like they got like a clubhouse, but it's focused around tennis because it's down in Naples, Florida, and they play a lot of tennis. So, but I swear I think that's like the key to longevity, right? Is like live in a place where you retire, you're not sitting in a recliner all day, you have a routine, you have like a big sense of community. Like those old people, I swear to God, are always doing something, some kind of event or whatever, but they're always, hanging out with each other. They're active. right? They're all damn near 100 years old. It's honestly, it's like dinosaurs walking around there. It's crazy. But that's what I want to do. I don't want to be those dudes that just sit in my recliner and watch the every second of the news and spread false conservative information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we don't want to alienate anybody also or false liberal information.
Yeah, I guess.
But nobody that lives to be old is a liberal. They all die young. Anyway, um, does she still play tennis?
No, 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 God, no. She's 100. I mean, for
I
Christ.
was gonna say, I mean, it's impressive just to be alive at 100, but I
Right, right. She doesn't play tennis, but my great uncles live with her, her sons, and they don't live with her, but they basically rotate. So like Tom and Greg basically stay with her. Tom's 81, Greg's like 76 or something like that. Tom gets up every morning at 9 a.m. and plays pickup pickleball, right? He goes down there. He's got like long hippie hair. He looks just like Willie Nelson. Goes out there, plays freaking pickleball every morning in his sandals and ripped jeans. That dude, I aspire to be that. Like, God.
and these are your grandma's brothers.
Yes. So my grandma passed away. So my mom's mom, they're all her brothers. There's four brothers. And then my grandma was the oldest. But that whole family is just old as shit, dude. But they're still at it. Um, I did play some tennis. Most of the time we spent just chilling by the pool, but I played my mom in tennis. We played two sets or matches or whatever the hell they're called. I lost. Um, but I mean, I probably hadn't played tennis in 5 years. It
Oh,
was okay. I did all
you
right.
don't you don't want to play me.
Yeah, yeah, I'd run you all over the court. You'd probably have a
You,
goddamn, you go into cardiac arrest.
you're talking to the Wilmington mixed doubles 5.5 league winter champion.
Yeah, yeah. You have to move in singles. You can't just stand in one spot. And I know moving really isn't on your list of things that you do well, but I lost the
13 miles.
first set 6-1. She beat me pretty good.
Oh,
And
damn,
then
she handed it to you.
they were close. And then the second set, I immediately was like, we're playing again, rematch, and I lost 6-4. So that one was respectable at least. But I think it's because she kind of got tired because I was like, we're going, and I like every time she go to get water or something, and I was like, nope, we gotta go. This is playing to my advantage. Um, but my thing is like, if I just put it over the net, like if I don't worry about placing the ball too much and just return, I can get it over the net consistently. So when I start to try to do too much, then I like mess up because I'm really not good. I can get like I'm mobile. I can get all over the court to those balls. It's just I try and be something I'm not. I just need to return and then let other people make mistakes.
That's my whole thing is like when I'm playing, if I'm not at the net, because I'm pretty aggressive when I'm at the net, but if I'm not playing at the net, it's just get it over and make them mess up.
Yeah. I did play pickleball for the first time this weekend as well. And I was probably 8 beers deep. Um, in Crocs. I had to put them in 4-wheel drive mode. Just came from the pool, like so it wasn't my finest moment, but pickleball is pretty fun. It was me and my cousin Andy, who's also never played before, against my uncle Dave, who's like played college tennis, right, and still plays very good at tennis. Like I don't know what his level is. Like I know you guys have 3-0, whatever.
I
Like
think he's I think he's a 4-5. I think Krista was saying.
like he plays pretty high level tennis. Um, and obviously I mean, he got a D1 full ride to play tennis at ECU, so he's no slouch. But yeah, no, he was like a freaking animal out there, and he did not take it easy on us.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect that anyway.
No, no, he was good. He gave it to us pretty good.
Was he
Um,
talking?
oh no, he doesn't. He wasn't really talking junk. It was just like, I'm trying to go up to the net and like kind of. I got long arms. I can kind of get stuff, and he was just smacking. The ball was hitting me in the chest. It was bad. But it was fun. It was fast paced, like a mixture of ping pong and tennis. It was cool. I like it. Get out there and smoke some of those old people at the CB Rec next time I come.
I'd like to play those old insert beep here one day because they love to run us off the basketball court. I'd like to just go and say, "Oh no, we're here to play pickleball."
Yeah, and then we'll play for the court. Like, hey, if we beat you,
Yeah,
you gotta get out of here.
yeah.
Could you
I'm
imagine the dilemma Bryce would be in after after we do that and then they come bitching to him?
they
Um,
there'd be an uprising.
yeah, yeah, absolute uprising. So let's move on to men's final four. Um, Unfortunately, NC State's run came to an end. That was pretty fun to watch, but really it's tough to compete against Edie when he's so big and their guards are actually making threes. I mean, nothing much you can really do.
I mean, they played him great though.
Yeah, they did.
That's as good as you could play that guy, realistically. I mean, they didn't foul too much.
Right.
When the guards when they would do a quick show and a little slap, they were probably getting away with fouling him a little bit when they were reaching in like that.
Yeah.
But I like them not calling it. That's a big motherfucker. He doesn't need those calls.
Well, it's not even about him. It's I like when they don't call those both ways and we get a little physical. It's the Final Four for Christ's sake. Like it's a
Yeah.
basketball is a contact sport. Like, sure, if he's in the act of shooting, right, you got to call a foul. But when we're playing physical, he's a big dude. He brings the ball down. And he's asking to get slapped.
Yeah, I mean, keep the thing up high, which he does usually.
He does pretty well at that.
And I mean, DJ Burns getting that quick foul
Yeah.
37 seconds into the game. That kid sold it. That Smith kid sold the shit out of it. He didn't get touched, but and another thing that I think fucked NC State up is O'Connell getting hurt. Like, and he was laboring the whole game.
Yeah, he makes things happen.
I mean, he might not, really stand out to you on the stat sheet, but he's a he's a solid player. Same thing with Middlebrook. I thought Middlebrook played a great game
Yeah, he did. I
for
saw
being
one
so
play.
undersized.
Yeah, I saw one play where Edie got the ball and they did like a quick double. Edie brought the ball down and Middlebrook just like ripped it away from him. Like that's Middlebrook 101. Like that's what he does.
The guy that really stood out to me on Purdue, other than Edie, was Lance Jones.
Yeah.
He just cashing out threes.
Yeah. I mean, those guards won the game for him, honestly. I know Edie had a good stat line and all, but the guards won the game.
Jones and the other kid, the white kid, Lawyer.
Yep. Yep. Bama tested UConn early, but UConn's just too good. I mean, Bama can score, and they showed that in the first half. Like they can score with the best of them, but UConn's just they're good, man. Honestly, they're favored 6.5 against Purdue tomorrow, and I think 6.5 is an absolute hammer.
Really?
Oh yeah,
See, I still have only watched them play once.
UConn.
Yeah, I
The
watched
way
one of
they,
their tournament games.
the way they move the ball and like run sets without having to call plays is just like it's what any coach dreams of, honestly. Like they come through, they run their little motion offense. Nobody is ever just standing around and watching someone ISO. Like it never happens.
Well, I mean, that's just good coaching. I mean, Dan Hurley, his dad is one of the best high school basketball coaches of all time. So he comes from like coaching royalty. So it makes sense that he would have a well coached team.
Yeah, and that dude's weird. Weird, but those players they freaking love him and they work hard. Like you think, and he has some 5-star dudes on his team. Like that's Stephon Castle, dude, is a freshman. He's a 5-star. Klingon is not a 5-star, but he's very well could have been. I think he was like top 60 in his high school class, and he's obviously good. And those dudes freaking get after it.
Do you think Klingon is going to be able to match up with Edie?
I mean, Klingon's 6 or 7'2", right? He's a big dude. He's 7'2". He seems to play pretty like straight up. He doesn't really. I mean, if he gets in foul trouble, like that's the thing is like these games are just a matter of who gets in foul trouble first. And if Klingon can defend Edie without fouling, I think UConn blows them out.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think they're too good. I mean, I've been a Purdue hater all season. I hate Purdue. So like I'm a little biased, but I think UConn's gonna smack Purdue.
Well, a lot of it has to do with if their guards can hit, like if they hit like they played against NC State, then they got a shot.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think Cam Spencer, I think the point guard, I think it's Tristan Newton or something for UConn. Like they're dogs. They're going to get after them on the defensive end. And you got Klingon, who's like a really good defensive player inside that can potentially start the game playing one-on-one with Edie. And I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'm I think I'm pulling for Purdue.
Yeah, I'd like to see UConn not win, but I'm a Purdue hater, so I don't know.
I like old school basketball a little bit. I like dumping it down to the big guy and letting him work, but which is more of what NC State does than what Purdue does because you
Right,
can't not give it to a 7'4" guy who's got a decent touch.
right. So the bracket, right? The friend group bracket. I am gonna finish in 10th place. I'm not last, which is shout out Drew finishing last. Um,
One of
but
the worst brackets of all time he put up.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad bracket. I mean, I'm close. My bracket was not good, but at least I'm not last. Um, Wes will win the bracket if Purdue wins, and Kyle will win if UConn wins.
Yeah, Wes's bracket must be pretty good because
Right.
he had Chapel Hill winning,
Right.
and Kyle won our work bracket.
Interesting. Okay.
I finished second in our work bracket, and I think I'm going to finish in third in our bracket.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep a close eye on that championship game to see if Wes or Kyle wins. We need to do a
110 ball.
we need to do a last place bet, like how like a fantasy punishment, but like a last place tournament punishment. I think we should do that next year.
I think we should ratify it right now, me and you. Whatever happens, Drew has to do it.
Yeah, I like that. So the students, right, in my class, they did a bracket amongst themselves, and their punishment is, those ruck marches I talked about, where we had to carry basically the equivalent of a backpack, and it's a 12-mile ruck. So it's like one of their big things when they finish. Well, their punishment is whoever finished last has to wear a thong on the 12-mile ruck.
Like just a thong?
No, 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 no. Like a thong as underwear.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's not that good.
I'm sure it won't be comfortable.
Right. Talk about the chafing that's going to happen from
Yeah.
holding of that. So I thought that was hilarious. Obviously, we're not going to do anything too crazy for our punishment because I don't want that to be me, but it's not me this year. So we should make Drew get a tattoo.
Yeah, you have to get a tattoo of the team you picked to win, but like saying like Drew has to get like Iowa State 2024 champions on his chest.
That'd be hilarious.
How much of the women's did you watch Final Four?
So I didn't watch any of the games from the jump to end, but I did catch some. I was pulling for Iowa, obviously, because Caitlin Clark is probably the only reason I was semi-interested in it. That game against UConn, we'll get into that call at the end of the game. But I think UConn did a pretty good job defending her. I think Iowa's, like, rest of Iowa's team kind of played better than I thought they would. They handled all that pressure, and UConn's a solid team. Obviously, UConn's a solid team every year.
That's like the misconception is that people think that team is just Caitlin Clark. Like they're the most efficient offensive team in the country, or they were.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it doesn't hurt when she's scoring 30, hitting 7 threes.
yeah, it doesn't hurt when you have the best player in the country on your team. But I mean, Kate Martin is a stud.
Yeah, she, from the highlights I watched, those last, especially like the fourth quarter, man, she went crazy.
And Stolke, she didn't have a great game today, but she played good against UConn.
Yeah, so let's get into that moving screen.
It 100% was a moving screen.
Yeah.
If you don't think that's a moving screen, you don't know anything about basketball. Now, is it ticky tack live? Maybe. Like, should it have been called? Like in the speed of the game? I don't know if you want a game decided like that. But if you slow it down and look at it, it 100% is a moving screen. It's the right call. Now, whether you want a game to be decided by a moving screen or not, that's a different discussion. But it 100% is a moving screen.
Yeah, like I said, like it's a tough call to end the game like that, but it was. I mean, it looked like the right call. I mean, she definitely stuck her hip and her shoulder out, like she was moving. She wasn't set. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a great play call. Um, but like if you don't want a moving screen to be called, then like set a non-moving screen. I don't like that they pick and choose when to call it. Like honestly, almost every screen like that is a moving screen. They all do it. Every level, whether it be freaking women's, men's, NBA, like they all do it. And it seems like the refs are looking for it in certain instances, which I don't like. Like you need to look at the ball screens every time. And if they're moving and you're going to call moving screens at the last 3 seconds, then you have to call all of them.
And, it helps that it was Iowa's smallest defender on one of the big girls, and she got fucking cracked. That helps make the call for them. I mean, she got fucking cracked.
Right. And that the hair flying is probably a nice
Yeah.
go
I'm sure it's a nice touch. And then people are like coming at that girl,
for
like
flopping or whatever.
just I'm like, she didn't fucking call it.
No, yeah.
Like, it was a smart basketball play. You got cracked by an illegal screen, sell it.
Yeah,
Like, I
absolutely.
mean, she
Um,
wasn't gonna be able to recover.
no. But when they after the call, so Iowa got the ball back and they got fouled. They they weren't in the boneless yet, so they took it out from I think underneath the basket, and Caitlin Clark like was inbounding the ball, and she like threw it off the Yukon player's like leg, and it like dribbled around, and like she did it on purpose, like she threw it over her leg because the clock starts. Like that's why do other people not do that?
I guess just because there's the possibility of you turning it over.
Right? But you could just throw it off the player's leg out of bounds, and it rolls out of bounds. Throw it off their leg, out of bounds. Throw it off their leg, out of bounds, and you waste 3 seconds.
Was the girl facing Clark,
Yes,
or
she
was her
was.
back?
She was facing Clark. She like threw it off her knee.
Yeah, what if they catch it?
Yeah, if you throw it off their knee, they're not going to catch it.
You throw it at my knee, I'm catching
Let's be real.
it.
Come on.
So
Let's be
you
real.
didn't catch. I want to touch a little bit on the NC State South Carolina game, just
Girl.
because.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because Sanaya Rivers was playing in it.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely had an off game. It looked like she was a little nervous out there. I mean,
Yeah. Probably playing against South Carolina.
she's a stud, but she did look a little off that game. And I mean, they were close going into the third, but South Carolina is fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, undefeated season. That's obviously impressive. It looks like there's no, like, they're just too good.
I mean, Dawn Staley's a good coach, and when you have, you know, five fucking, I, you know, all of those girls are the best player at any other college other than like Iowa or UConn or NC State.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they're all great. And then today, uh, it was a good game. I watched the second half. So I didn't see Clark put up 18 in the first quarter, but uh, she seemed like she was a little. They played her well. I mean, she still had like 35 points, but she was missing shots that I think she usually hits, and the other girls weren't really hitting.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looked like she was reaching a bit. Um, so when they play her like that, it's hard because she feels like every time she touches the ball, she has to shoot it because they're playing good defense on her and not letting her really touch the ball. So she comes off those like screens, get the ball, and she feels like, okay, I finally have the ball. Now I have to throw something up, and I just feel like she was reaching a bit. Versus like she does have good players. Like that was one of those games that her teammates were going to have to win for, and that's how South Carolina was playing it. They were playing it to where they were going to make someone else other than Caitlin Clark beat them, and it didn't happen. So whatever, South Carolina wins.
The what did surprise me about Caitlin Clark is because you always see the highlights of you know her shooting from 40 feet, but
Yeah.
she's a great passer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, she can play basketball. Like she can do it all.
And then a couple of girls that impressed me, like Camila Cardosa. She's a fucking beast on the boards. Chloe Kitts coming out of the halftime, she hit four in a row or four straight points, got them going, and Tessa Johnson down the stretch cashing out three threes. It's tough to compete like that when you got everybody hitting on that team.
Yeah, they're just too good. They're too good.
They were good. Well, 38-0. I think they're the first school to go undefeated other than UConn.
Yeah, other than UConn, that sounds right.
Because I think UConn's done it 6 times.
Yeah, UConn's next level. Um, so obviously I'm out of my fantasy playoffs. You're out of your fantasy playoffs, but I know we've all been updated by via Snapchat about a certain matchup that's happening this week. Um, is GOAT team the NC State of fantasy basketball?
Absolutely.
So they're the NC State, aka they had no business being in the playoffs, and they're making a little run. Now, can they, unlike the NC State of men's basketball, pull it out and make a little bit of a push to win this championship?
Right now, he's down 42 points. And the only people he has left to play are Nas Reed and Rudy Gobert. He's
So
done.
it's not looking good.
No, he's done. Yeah. Well, and Miles Bridges, excuse me.
So still not looking good. Does Wes have anybody else?
He's got Draymond. Wemby's only in the second quarter. Giannis is in the second quarter. He's already got 25 fantasy points. West is going to win.
Yeah, not looking good for old GOAT team.
Hell of a run. It was magical. He got me to walk back statements. I think, and he's a former champion of this league. Uh, he's not going to be satisfied with this, but the way his team played in the regular season, I think you gotta view this as a successful year.
Yeah, it's March. Well, it's April now, but a little magic in March and April. But he's going to come up short, and that's okay. Not everybody can be a winner.
West is going to play Corey in the championship. It looks like Corey's got a pretty big lead on Kyle.
Okay, and Wes or Corey haven't won yet.
New champion, new person sitting at the champions table. I myself have 2 chairs. As you've heard, I am the only 2-time, and I will remain the only 2-time.
Yeah. Do you guys have a punishment for last place for that or no?
No, we should.
Yeah, I'm all for punishments, but I don't want like super
You
embarrassing.
don't want to be you. You want to be you.
Well, it's not going to be me. I've never lost at anything my whole life.
Okay. I have a. You got any other subjects you want to talk about? I have something I want to touch on.
Go for it. I got a couple things, but we may or may not have time.
Mine's real quick. Do you think Sammy has listened to one full episode?
Yes,
How many?
probably two.
Okay, Marissa, I know has listened to one. We named the podcast for them. They don't even fucking listen. It's rude.
It's pretty rude. They're not going to hear this because there's no chance they listen to this one.
They won't listen to it. I just know my feelings are hurt.
My feelings will hurt. We could bounce around some name changes.
We have such a big following. I don't think we should change.
That's true. We don't want people to get confused. It could be Tyler and Trey's mistresses.
The bitchin' honestly would not be worth it.
So they wouldn't know, but
That's true. That's true.
the bitchin' would not be worth it. But yeah. So did you hear the whole rap beef thing that's happening right now?
With like Drake and Fucking Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, so Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't really know what it's about.
It's really not about anything. Honestly, it's probably for clicks. They're probably texting each other, being like, "Hey, release your song now! Release your song now!" But it's entertaining. J. Cole just released an album, kind of on the wing. It was a surprise album, and it was pretty good. You should check it out. But his last song is called 7 Minute Drill, and he threw some jabs at Kendrick, and J. Cole doesn't really do that often, but it was cool. It was a nice change of pace. He's like really rapping on the album. I thought it was pretty good.
You think that album is better than KOD? I know not a lot of people love KOD, but I really like that album.
KOD wasn't my favorite, just in terms of being the easy listening to. Like I feel like a lot of the songs are a little deeper, and that's like not what I want to listen to in the car. Um, but it was good. I don't think like in terms musically it was probably as good. In terms of production and like storytelling and stuff like that, it probably wasn't as good. But in terms of just like bars and rapping, I liked it a lot.
Okay.
Like gym playlist, this has more songs in the gym playlist than KOD did for sure.
Yeah, KOD's not you don't work out to that album.
No, no. I liked KOD. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a J. Cole fan though, so I'm a little biased. I don't really love Kendrick's music. It's not really my style. Obviously, he has great albums. Really only like two of them I'm gonna have on my downloads on my playlist, but uh, so far I think J. Cole's winning. I do expect Kendrick to release some sort of follow up. I don't know about Drake. I think he might be a little busy taking Instagram pictures and stuff. But
Uh, uh, I don't even know what to think about Drake. I mean, my cousin Michael loves that guy. So,
Drake's made some bangers. I mean, he's one of
oh
the
no, he's a great artist. But I just, I think of him as like 2013. You know,
yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's when he arrived and made his statement, and he's forever cemented because of that era. But um, yeah, yeah. So it's something to keep your eye on. Something to keep your eye on. I'll let you know because I know you're not super in the hip hop release dates and stuff like that. So I'll keep you updated.
yeah, I don't really have my finger on the pulse of the rap game right now.
Yeah, well, I'll send you some songs, some of my favorites off the album, and tell you to listen to them. So a
I'll listen to the album tomorrow. I'll go for a long walk or something.
little hot girl walk.
Yeah, I gotta get the ass right for it's almost beach body season.
Yeah, you got a little more than a walk if you want to get ready for beach party season.
All right, let's do a legit sign off. You want to shout anybody out? You got a minute
Uh,
20.
so shout out Goat Team for changing up his goat filter. I like how he went with the Jesus filter. It's a nice change of pace. We're getting to see the real him without the mask. I like it.
Yeah, he took your words to heart, I think.
I think they were your words.
I'm gonna give a shout out to all the Cuban people of the world because I made picadillo tonight. It's a traditional Cuban dish. I didn't make it as good as any Cuban person, but it was pretty solid.
Pronounce that again.
Picadillo.
Okay. Yeah. Get his ass Cubans. All right, dog. I'll catch you next time.
All right, peace.
See ya.